We need to talk about the Suhr legacy. I have played dozens of high-end Suhr models, but this is the first one to truly capture my attention. Here at Squealing Pig Guitars, we're on a mission to find the best guitars in the world. So we'll be rating the Suhr legacy on 3 factors: aesthetics, overall value, and playability and tone. So make sure to stay tuned to the end of this video to find out my full review and rating of this Suhr legacy. So let's not dawdle any further, let's take a deep dive into the Suhr legacy model. Hello guitarists, welcome back to Squealing Pig Guitars, the home of luxury shred machines here in Nottingham, England. My name is Keightley, and today I'm going to have a little chat about the Suhr legacy model. As I mentioned in the intro to today's video, I have played dozens, if not hundreds, of high-end Suhr models. But this is the first Suhr guitar to truly capture my attention, and I'm going to be telling you why in this episode. But before we get into this episode, make sure to hit subscribe if you enjoy these videos. We're on the road to 100,000 subscribers, and we could do with your help. So if you enjoy these SPG videos, hit subscribe down below. Also, make sure to leave a like and comment your thoughts in the comment section below. I'd really appreciate it. So the first element that we're going to be rating today is the aesthetics of this guitar. Of course, aesthetics are always going to be subjective, but I think that's what makes them so good. For me personally, I love guitars that are a little bit different and definitely guitars that are very flashy, and this definitely has that. Obviously, you have the gorgeous gold hardware with a flamed maple top with a kind of fire burst. It looks so captivating in person, with that lovely red dye on the back there and that kind of plain maple neck. I'm a big fan of the gold hardware on this one, and I love the whited out EMG pickups. It's got such a unique look to it. I love the clay dots as well and the black headstock. For me personally, this has a very cool aesthetic. It's very different to what I'd usually go for. I'm more of a vintage guitar lover, but I think this has a healthy kind of mix between modern and vintage specs. So in terms of aesthetics, I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. So now we're going to talk about the specification of this guitar and talk about everything that goes into making it. So let's grab the case and get the spec sheet. So this guitar comes in a gorgeous black case with the black bumpers. Opening it up, obviously we've got the beautiful Suhr legacy model. If you don't know already, this is actually the first model that John Suhr created. This is the original Suhr design, and I have to say, I think it's one of the best that he's ever done. I love the S-type body, the HSS configuration, the dark rosewood board. These come in a plethora of different colors, but I think this is the best color. I love the Fireburst. We do have the spec sheet here, so we'll go over that shortly. In terms of other stuff that we get in the case, we have a little plastic bag with our tools. We have a little Allen key here, which actually locks this tremolo arm, which is very clever design. We've got a little fretboard protector, and obviously the spec sheet. And that's all that we get with this guitar. So let's pull out the Suhr legacy and talk about everything that goes into it. So firstly, we're going to talk about the construction of this guitar. So let's turn it around and talk about the bodywood. So to start off, we have an African Akume 2-piece body with this beautiful cherry die. Of course, it's like a Suhr kind of strat type shape, obviously very modern, got a few contours at the bottom there, nice belly cut, very nice indeed. Turning it over, we have a 2-piece curly maple top with that Fireburst, very nice and striking indeed. We then have a plain maple neck, which has a satin finish, and then we have a rosewood fingerboard with clay dots. And to be exact, it's Indian rosewood on this one, and we actually have a compound radius from 10 inches to 14 inches. We have 22 stainless steel frets, and this is the even C slim profile. We then have a tusk nut on this one and gold locking Suhr branded tuners. Of course, aesthetically, we've got a beautiful black lacquer over the headstock to make it look black, but obviously on the back, it's like a plain maple design. I have to say the fret edges of this guitar have been done superbly. That's very consistent with most Suhr models, but I personally think this is such a beautiful looking Suhr, and I love how it's quite unique. Fundamentally, it kind of sits on your lap like a Stratocaster, but then it has the contours, so it feels a little bit Ibanez-y in a way, but the neck is very comfortable, not too wide, not too thick, not too slim. It's right in the middle, a great Goldilocks profile. Personally, I'd make the neck a little bit thicker as it is quite slim, but obviously for this type of model, they're going to be wanting to get into the shred market. We then have the Goto 510 2-post tremolo, which is obviously in gold, and then We then have the EMG SAs in the middle and the neck, and then we have the EMG 85 in the bridge. These have the ivory covers on, which looks very stylish. And then of course we have the big kind of jumbo gold strap buttons, but that is everything that goes into the Suhr Legacy model. So now we need to rate the next factor, which is the playability and tone of the Suhr Legacy. So let's switch on the 2-Rock Bloomfield drive and get rocking and see how this guitar sounds. So guitarists, it's time for my favorite part of the video where I get to play this amazing Suhr Legacy guitar. Today's rig, I'm plugged into the 2-Rock Bloomfield drive, and that's mic'd up with an Audio-Technica microphone. Other than that, I have my reverb pedal in the loop. It's a Flammer FSO2. In the intro to today's video, I kind of did I guess it's Jeff Beck kind of inspired version of Sleepwalk. Of course, the original was by Santo and Johnny, released in the 50s. I love this track. It's so mysterious, as well as very kind of calming music. So I'll play the full version now on the neck pickup, but this guitar just has a perfect kind of Jeff Beck tone in my opinion. Obviously, tremolo is very stiff in a good way. It's got a really nice feel to it. So on the neck pickup, this was the tone I had. So that alone has made this kind of my favorite Suhr model I've ever played. The tremolo is just so perfect. The neck pickup sounds like a single coil, but it has that kind of active boost that you need for this type of music. Just the tone coming out the amp is truly sensational. Loving the neck pickup. Let's go one position down for the neck in the middle. Let's see what that sounds like. Beautiful. Middle position. But yeah, just so dynamic, so easy to play. I'm really highly rating this guitar so far. Now I've just removed the tube screamer to make it a little bit cleaner. Let's hear the middle and the split bridge. Lovely stuff. Now the bridge pickup, let's put the tube screamer back on. Go for a slightly higher gain tone Finally, let's test out the tremolo. Let's see how it flutters. Just wow, I've really enjoyed playing this Suhr today, so let's go to the next section of the video. So I hope you enjoyed the playability and tone test. Now we're going to talk about the overall value of this guitar and whether I think it's worth the price. So this guitar retails brand new for $3,499 and we have it listed for £3,199. Obviously that's just kind of currency conversions. In terms of that price, you're kind of undercutting the Fender Custom Shop, you're undercutting a lot of the kind of high-end ESPs and stuff like that. It's definitely a very well-priced model for a handmade guitar. Obviously, it's a little bit more expensive than Tom Anderson and Ibanez, but I do think this feels more Stratty and more vintage than it might look. These pickups, although they're EMGs and active, they actually have a really nice nuanced quality to them, and you can easily get kind of like a bluesy Mayer sound out of this guitar, but you can also shred it up. So I think it makes it such a versatile beast, and for that reason, I would happily pay £3,199 for this guitar, even though it's something that I wouldn't usually gravitate towards. I don't know what it is about this exact model, but it just really has impressed me today. It's a very unique guitar, the tremolo stays in tune nicely, and the pickups sound awesome. So in terms of value, yes, value is going to be subjective to everybody. This guitar might be way too expensive for somebody, but it might be, cheap for others. For me, obviously, it is an expensive guitar. It would be a lot of money to spend on a guitar, but if I was looking for a HSS kind of Stratocaster, Super Strat type thing, I would definitely go for a Suhr like this, or maybe something like a Charvel. It's got very nice high-end woods, obviously nice maple, really nice Akume body, so it's nice and light. The fretwork is beautiful. The intonation is spot on, and I didn't have to tune it again. My only criticism of this guitar is that it could do with a bit of a thicker neck. So in terms of value, although it is in that kind of mid-tier, it's kind of undercutting the Fender Custom Shop, I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10. I think it could be a little bit cheaper if they wanted to be more competitive, but at the price that it is at for a handmade guitar, you're getting a lot of value there. So I have to say a 7.5 for that personally and subjectively. But of course, let me know in the comment section below, what do you think of the value of this guitar? So now that we've rated our 3 parameters of today's video, we're gonna go to my final thoughts and final review and kind of come to a conclusion for today's video. So let's do that now. So guys, it's the end of the review. It's time for me to reveal my full rating and obviously the average rating from today's video. This is going to be the new format that we're going to go with going forward. Obviously, we're on the mission to find the best guitars in the world. So we're going to be doing this kind of universal rating system to find the best ones. In today's video, this Suhr Legacy has definitely put up a great fight. It's the first Suhr model that I've truly gelled with, and I really enjoyed playing it today. So my final rating that I need to give is on the playability and tone, which I didn't give when I did the playability and tone. So this is kind of the last rating. So obviously all ratings are out of 10, so we'll give an average score in total. So I'm going to give the playability and tone of this guitar a 9 out of 10, which is a very high rating. It played amazingly, I really gelled with it, and I really enjoyed the kind of Mayer tones that I was getting out of it. So our full rating is, for playability and tone, we have a 9. For the value, we have a 7.5. And then for the aesthetics, we have an 8.5. So putting all them scores together, the average score for this guitar would be an 8.3 out of 10, which puts it at a very high space on our leaderboard. Personally, I really enjoyed playing this Suhr Legacy model today. It's a very impressive guitar that has the high-end looks, it has the glitz and the glamour, but it really is fundamentally a great instrument. And the only criticisms I would have of it, I'd prefer a thicker neck on this guitar and maybe a little bit more dynamic pickups. But in terms of a shred guitar or a kind of bluesy, kind of stratty monster, it's got a great tone to it. But as always, guys, let me know in the comment section below, what do you think of the Suhr Legacy model? Have you had personal experience with this model, or have you tried any other Suhr that has truly captured your attention? Let me know down below. Also, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you're new to Squealing Pig Guitars. We're on the road to 100,000 subscribers, and we could really do with your help. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. My name is Ben Keightley, and I'll see you tomorrow for another episode. But until then, keep rocking, guys. I'll see you soon.